Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. My name is Addie. So for today's video is the latest entry requirements to all travelers bound to the United States. Details coming right up. So you guys have probably heard about the United States lifting the pre-departure test to enter the United States to all air passengers. So today I am going to walk you through to all these requirements on who are allowed to enter the United States, what are the latest entry requirements to all allowed travelers to the United States, and what are the forms you need to fill out when you are traveling to the United States, entering as a U.S. citizen, lawful permanent resident, immigrants, non-immigrants. All of that on this video. So let's get started with the allowed travelers to the US. So for the allowed travelers to the US are fully vaccinated and unvaccinated US citizen, US nationals, lawful permanent residents, and immigrants. So to those categories that I have mentioned, you guys can enter either you are fully vaccinated and unvaccinated. And I am going to show you guys the categories as fully vaccinated. The second allowed traveler to the US are the second category who are allowed to enter the United States are the fully vaccinated non-US citizen and non-US immigrant. And I am going to show you also who belong to this category because sometimes it gets confusing who are the non-immigrants and non-US citizen. Also, exempted, unvaccinated, non-US citizen, and non-US immigrants. Because up until now, the United States is not allowing unvaccinated foreign nationals. Only those who are US citizens, US nationals, residents of the United States, these are the green card holders, the immigrants, just like the Philippines, those unvaccinated foreign nationals are not allowed entry. There are some who were able to enter, but in the States, this has not been lifted yet, only the pre-departure test. Unvaccinated non-US citizen and non-US immigrant are not allowed entry into the United States unless exempted. So you guys should be on those exemption lists as unvaccinated to be allowed entry. So, for the category of being fully vaccinated, here are the categories as follows. You are fully vaccinated for air travel to the United States. You are considered fully vaccinated if 2 weeks or 14 days after your dose of an accepted single-dose vaccine. 2 weeks or 14 days after your second dose of an accepted 2-dose series. 2 weeks or 14 days after you received the full series of an accepted COVID-19 vaccine, not placebo, in a clinical trial, and 2 weeks or 14 days after you received second doses of any mix and match combination of accepted COVID-19 vaccines administered at least 17 days apart. So I am going to also show you guys what are the accepted vaccines in the United States after this portion. If you don't meet these requirements, you are not considered fully vaccinated. So please, very important that you follow this timeline, these guidelines from the CDC. A booster dose is not needed to meet this requirement. So the United States is not requiring the booster shots yet for air travel. A person who have received only 1 dose of an accepted 2-dose series and has recovered from COVID-19 does not meet this definition and therefore not considered fully vaccinated for travel to the United States. So it's kind of like what they're saying, you're supposed to get the 2-dose series. For example, you are getting Pfizer. You got the first dose and for some reason you got infected with COVID-19, and as what I've heard, you can't get another vaccine anymore. I am not sure. So you are not really considered fully vaccinated and are not allowed to enter the United States. CDC has not recommended to use of mix and match COVID-19 vaccine primary series. However, such strategies are increasingly common in many countries outside of the United States. Therefore, for the purpose of interpreting vaccination records for travel to the United States, CDC will accept combinations of accepted COVID-19 vaccines. So, for example, your first dose is Pfizer, your second dose is Moderna, that is accepted as well. So let's move on to the recognized proof of vaccination. So when you are traveling to the United States, even if you are a U.S. citizen, resident, you will have to show vaccination proof that you are fully vaccinated, especially if you are traveling as a non-immigrant or a non-U.S. citizen. They will still check that. The airlines will still check that. So what are the accepted vaccines by the U.S. CDC shall be accepted? So here are the list of vaccines that are accepted in the United States. So for single dose, we have the J&J. That is actually the only vaccine I know with J&J. They also have the emergency use for Convidicia. So I've not really heard as much of that. Then for the 2-dose series, they have Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, Covaxin, Covishield, Sinopharm, Sinovac, Novavax, Covovac, Medicago. So these are the accepted vaccines by the US CDC standards. So please take note of those. If you are fully vaccinated, make sure that your vaccine is listed on this accepted COVID-19 vaccines. So what about the list of accepted proof of vaccination? For the accepted proof of vaccination are the following. Verifiable records, it's either digital or paper. So examples, vaccination certificate with QR code, digital pass via smartphone, application with QR code, for example in United Kingdom, National Health Service COVID Pass, or European Union Digital COVID Certificate. For non-verifiable paper records, you can print out COVID-19 vaccination record or COVID-19 vaccination certificate issued at national and sub-national level or by an authorized vaccine provider, for example, the CDC vaccination card. That is one example of a non-verifiable paper records. For non-verifiable digital records, digital photos of vaccination card or record, downloaded vaccine record or vaccination certificate from official source, for example, public health agency, government agency, or other authorized vaccine provider, or a mobile phone application without QR code. Please be guided of this acceptable proof of COVID-19 vaccination. So we have some notes here. Passengers traveling from a foreign country to the United States are no longer required to get tested and show the COVID-19 test result or documentation of recovery from COVID-19 prior to boarding a flight to the US. So this was the news few days ago. This has started June the 12th of 2022 to all bound travelers to the United States. Air passengers to the US are not required to show any pre-departure test. It's either RT-PCR test or antigen or any other related COVID-19 test. You can also show your documentation if traveler is unable to get vaccinated due to medical records. Unlike the Philippines, they used to have this before, but for some reason, it was removed. So in the US, if it is detrimental to your health to get vaccinated, you show them your medical records that you cannot take the COVID-19 vaccine and you will be accepted in the United States. Very important, proof of COVID-19 vaccination for non-citizen and non-immigrants passenger, disclosure and attestation to the United States. Before, all passengers are required to fill out this form. But this time, it says only for non-US immigrants and non-US citizens, which I am going to show you the categories. Who are these categories that belongs to the non-immigrant and non-US citizens? So you guys are required to fill out the form Fourth, passenger disclosure and attestation form. So I have showed you guys earlier the categories of being fully vaccinated. So please take note of that. Now I am going to show you the categories of non-US citizens and non-immigrants air passengers. So who are these categories? So non-citizens who are non-immigrants and seeking to enter the United States by air are required to show proof of being fully vaccinated against COVID-19 before boarding a flight to the United States from a foreign country. If you are not fully vaccinated against COVID-19, you will not be allowed to board a flight to the United States unless you meet the criteria for an exemption under the proclamation and CDC's amendment order. A booster dose is not needed to meet this requirement. Categories of non-citizen, non-immigrants that meet the criteria for an exemption under proclamation and CDC's amendment order include: number 1, persons on diplomatic or official foreign government travel. Number 2, children under 18 years of age. Number 3, persons with documented medical contraindications to receiving a COVID-19 vaccine, participants in certain COVID-19 vaccine trials, persons issued a humanitarian or emergency exemption, person with valid visas excluding B1 or B2 who are citizens of a foreign country with limited vaccine availability, members of the U.S. Air Force or their spouses or children under 18 years of age, sea crew members traveling with to a C1 and D non-immigrant visa, and the last one, persons whose entry would be in the national interest as determined by the Secretary of State, Secretary of Transportation, or the Secretary of Homeland Security. So these are the categories under non-immigrant or non-US citizens. So please take note of those. If you are one of those categories, you will be required to fill out the attestation form, and you should be fully vaccinated, or else you will not be allowed entry if unvaccinated unless you are one of those exempted passengers who are still allowed to enter the United States unvaccinated. And the last form that you need to fill out is the Philippine Bureau of Immigration Declaration Form. This will be given to you at the airport, and it looks like this. So this is the Bureau of Immigration Travel Declaration and Acceptance of Terms and Risk Form. So read the travel declaration, the terms and conditions, then you sign it, date it, and fill out the information asked below, and you present this during your immigration process when you are headed to the United States. So you can download this from the Philippine Airlines website, but if you can't download it, don't worry, because like I said, this will be given to you at the airport. So to all US bound passengers, these are the latest entry requirements to the United States as of June 16 of 2022. So please be guided if you are flying to the US as a US citizen, US national, lawful permanent resident, green card holder, or immigrants to the United States, or even if you are non-US citizen or non-immigrants. The following requirements that I have showed you earlier are the ones you need to prepare. It's not as many as it used to, because like I said, the United States has already dropped the pre-departure testing for COVID-19. So you don't need to provide that anymore, the negative RT-PCR test or negative antigen in 24 hours before you depart from whatever country you came from, for example, the Philippines, going to the United States. So this will be your guide flying to the United States from today going forward. So this is our latest travel update to the US, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, concerns, or inquiries with regards to this video or in any of our travel related videos, please comment down below and I will try to get back to you guys as soon as I can. Or you can direct message me in our Facebook page, same handle, the Eaton Squad. Again, guys, thank you for the continued support and trust to our channel, the Eaton Squad, Polar Bear in the Philippines, and to our family. I hope to see you on our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.